from your DEI Blame Game. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at January 31st. Studios featuring AnalystHole Matt Moscardi, who's been sick since last September.
It's never ending.
On today's weekly wrap-up, a Deepseek week, the Zuck Suckup Tour, Target is not the new Costco, and fecal phones.
Oh, no, yeah, I don't like that story at all. But
Our show today is being
really
sponsored by freeflowanalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free. And I will remind the listening audience, in case we have any new listeners this week, that the data that we present there is it's not. It can't be, data in itself can't be coercive to either direction unless you
it's not ideological.
Want it to be.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
It really can't be unless you come with an ideology and you kind of cherry pick data to support that, which, you know, if that's how people want to use the data, that's kind of, it's human nature too. But what we represent here, even though I'm on the left of things, is not, it doesn't actually represent the left or right. It represents everything, I think.
I mean, look, the fact is, if you look on freeflowanalytics.com, who sponsors this show, you are looking at data flowing through. All it says is these are the directors. This is the estimate of the power that they have. That estimate is based off of 30 years of academic research, not like a couple of guys' ideologies. 30 years of academic research, rigorous research across all manner of topics, sports analytics, board analytics, primatology, everything. And then it just passes through and says, this is how they perform. It's very, very simple. It's not actually super complicated.
And to be clear, to anyone who's in an anti-DEI position or anti-DEI company or whatever, the diversity in itself has never been in power. It's never been in control. So none of this data is skewed by the idea that women or people of color are ruining things by making decisions, because they've never been left to make decisions. So
you know what?
You don't have to worry about that either.
If you want to make an anti-DEI case, and I'm talking to Jerry Bowyer, whose whole family runs Bowyer
I think
Research.
I'm secretly talking to him too, yeah.
And we got in a back and forth on LinkedIn where he called me a liar because they have a proposal up at Deere where they're sort of obtusely saying Deere discriminates in its philanthropy, right? Like against religious, generally white groups. Regardless of that, you can read the proposal yourself. You can get into the details yourself. I don't care about that. If you wanted to make an anti-DEI argument, the data is there. You could go into the data set and say, look, women underperform on boards. You could say, look, black women who are gay underperform in tech boards. I don't know. You could try to figure out, like, that's what the data allows
Matt,
you to do. You could try
good
to
luck,
make an
though.
argument.
But good luck with that argument, because there's never been a board or a company that is allowed diversity to right? I mean, at least not in the S&P 500. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's never been a thing. So
No.
So even like the president blaming something on DEI, it's not real. It's just never. We've never been. I am fighting for this. I want this to happen in our country, but we've never been in this position in our country or anywhere in the Western world where these people have had enough power to blame them in the first place. But that's
I'm just saying,
we can move
go
on.
at it. The data's there. You can try to make your argument. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Ready for story of the week?
Yeah, let's do story of the week. You can pretend the music's playing because it is. What do you got for me?
Well, the first one's kind of an old-fashioned one for us. There's no sadness or anger or blaming or DEI. It's just this thing called DeepSeek that came out of China that rocked the AI world on Monday, I believe. And the headline: DeepSeek shocks AI world with cheap Chinese chatbot. They're calling it AI Sputnik moment. I guess it wiped away $1 trillion of market value its first day. I don't know if the stock market maybe is back up since then. I don't know. But also, there's already been a cyber attack against DeepSeek. American AI companies are kind of scrambling to respond. And then just yesterday, I see another Chinese company, Alibaba, says it has an AI model even better than DeepSeek. So I don't know. I don't understand Matt. The thing I can't comprehend anymore is the amount of resources we're dumping into this AI nonsense. To me, is just it's out of control. I mean, you talk a lot about private investors giving money to but it's just like the energy we need to maintain this, all of it. It's just like, what the hell are we doing? I mean, what the hell is going on?
All I love about these stories, what makes it such a great story, is people are talking, like Andreessen called it AI Sputnik moment, right? Like where just for those of you under the age of 60, Russia put Sputnik, into orbit before the U.S. got up there, and it made the U.S. all of a sudden rush to, do its space program, right?
Okay, but what it really represented, Matt, which I think is the perfect analogy, is really the beginning of the Cold War, which is like kind of a way to convince your people that we need to spend a lot of money to fight off the Russians who are coming, right? It's kind of the same thing.
But this one is funnier to me because what it really proved was all the hype coming out of Silicon Valley, Mark Andreessen writing techno-optimist manifestos, and
I forgot about that.
And Zuckerberg talking about how if we don't combat China and the national security of TikTok, and
if
all
we don't
of the
do it, China will.
Rhetoric are coming out of Silicon Valley and the broligarchy and the manflakes who are running this world right now with billions or trillions of dollars at their disposal. Really, they're not more clever, they're not smarter, they're not more efficient. There's like a couple of Chinese engineers who figured out a way to do it just as good as any like US tech bro, and they lost their minds. The market lost its mind.
Here's the thing though, Matt, we had a model for that could have called OpenAI, which was supposed to be built like on a non-for-profit model, right? We could have done that. All the tech bros, they all could have rallied behind this non-for-profit concept where no single corporation was enriching themselves off of this, but we let that go pretty quickly. I mean, the board tried rightfully to fire Sam Altman and failed at that, and now like they're all fighting against each other. So clearly this is not about saving humanity or saving American might. This is just about their own nest egg.
This is about
their own company. As it always is.
Which is fine. This isn't like socialism beat capitalism. This isn't anything like that. This is just like, we don't have the corner on smart people who can do shit in America.
Well, that would be weird if we did. That would be weird if we did.
College dropouts who like are trillionaires. You're not the smartest. You're not the smartest.
Look, I mean, I eventually, if the world wants to survive, we're eventually going to have to get to a point in our human history where we work together as a globe. I don't know. Is that possible? I don't know. Who knows? Probably not. No. That's
you can't even.
You know what I'm saying.
You're saying it.
I know. But yeah, go nationalism. Yay, it's so much fun. It's so interesting. I'm so absorbed by made up borders. Yay, what fun. Okay, so the next story of the week, this is an old-fashioned one for us. Meta, they call him Meta Chief. This must be out of the Europe. Meta Chief Zuckerberg joins the Business Roundtable. So Mark Zuckerberg, the emperor of Meta, I didn't really realize he was never part of Business Roundtable. Now he's joining it suddenly. And Matt, he's reportedly hunting for a home in Washington, D.C. to be even closer to Trump.
Oh, that's so cute.
What do you think about this, though, joining the Business Roundtable? Is this meaningful?
That's so cute. I mean, is he looking for a house like next to Donnie's house so the two of them can have tea in the afternoon?
I mean, this is the 4-year power grab.
I mean, this is like the Business Roundtable is not really a thing anyway. Like,
why now?
Like, why now?
Yeah, why all of a sudden? Look, I'm not suggesting it's meaningful. I'm asking you, is it meaningful?
Because no, it's. I mean, like it's.
Why wasn't he there before?
Because he's a big man baby.
He's a petulant. He's a petulant
man baby. Now he's like sucking up to a new daddy.
Well, now he's seeing. I guess now he's seeing a conduit to.
You
more
know
power.
what my real gut instinct is here, and this is not confirmed by any inside intel. Sheryl Sandberg's gone. Mama's gone. My real gut feeling is when mommy left,
Yeah.
Mark is floundering around. Peter Thiel was on the board for a long time. We actually did a show many years ago about Peter Thiel, how like when geese imprint on the first thing that like looks like a parent, Zuckerberg basically imprinted, like Thiel imprinted on Zuckerberg as like a father figure. Like he was sitting on his shoulder for years and years and years. When Thiel left, there was still Cheryl. Now there's nobody left. Now he's picking Dana White for his board, and his buddies, like ex Enron traders, putting them on audit committees. Basically, all hell is broken. When Mark has to make his own decision with no adult in the room, you realize he's a college dropout with no adult in the room. And now this is like, isn't this the next step? He's looking for a new daddy. It's Daddy Donnie. He's just getting as close as he can. That's all.
That's the second story of the week. The third story of the week, I guess the people at Boyer Research would call this grift, right? That I even care about this next story. That they would suggest this is some part of ESG DEI grift. I don't really know what that means, but anyway, sorry that I believe in anything that's real.
How dare you?
Yeah. But here's the headline: U.S. Bancorp's next CEO to be first woman of color to lead a major U.S. lender. That's Gunjan Kedia, who was named She was named the bank's president last May. She'll be becoming CEO in April, and she's succeeding Andy Cecere, who will, of course, stay around to be executive chair. So he's not
okay.
So we'll see. Hey, if you want to know how much influence she actually has, you should go to freeflowanalytics.com when we do that data update to see how much influence she actually has on that board. But
I'm out on this announcement. That story of the week sucks. Next.
Oh, jeez. How dare you? How dare you crap on things I care about? And finally, unfortunately, I kind of wedged this one in here, mostly because, it happened to a public corporation, and then it does sort of kind of ugly. In an ugly way, it covers some of the things that we've been talking about recently. The headline: American Airlines CEO Robert Isom offers apology after fatal mid-air collision near Washington, D.C. airport. And then Trump immediately yesterday criticized the FAA diversity efforts after the plane crash, even as he says he doesn't know the cause yet. So, and this is really, but this is I thank him for this only because, like, at least he's admitting the game, right? Like, and it goes the same with the people at Boyer Research who get very like agitated about things like diversity and leadership, because the game really is that they don't want diversity. They don't want diverse people in leadership, and they don't really have an answer why. Like, they don't really have data to support or reasons to support. They just don't want it. They just don't want
discrimination. It's just
okay, but at least.
That's what they're saying.
But at least sort of Trump clumsily admits it. Like, I don't know what happened, but I'm going to blame who I want to blame, right?
In this case, people with dwarfism. He basically just blamed, like, people with disabilities and dwarfism. That's
Why? What are you talking about?
He read out the FAA, a specific piece of the FAA diversity initiative. This is true, where he blamed people with like the whole readout was all focused on people with like mental disabilities, and dwarfism was like the last part of that. Like, it wasn't even this time. It was like he's like scraping the bottom of the diversity barrel in a way. He's like, we've already blamed the blacks and women and gays for everything.
Yeah.
Now I need another set of diversity to like say that that's the reason, without having any evidence that was at all the reason for any of this, right?
Well,
like,
he even blamed Obama. So that gives me
blame Obama.
Next time I go to Starbucks and I don't like my latte, I'm going to blame Melody Hobson.
That's true. You should. Although the American Airlines like offering an apology, this one actually does not feel like this wasn't a Boeing problem. This doesn't feel like the airlines are horrible. This feels a different problem entirely. Like an infrastructure system and air traffic control that has been under stress and strain for 20 years. This is how it ends.
Yeah, I think the strain really began during the Reagan administration when he fired a bunch of people who worked for that unit when they were threatening to strike.
You know better than me. All I know.
All right, what? Come on, give me a vote. Story of the week here.
Like, the story of the week is easy. This is Deepseek.
Is it?
Week.
Okay,
yeah,
let's move on then. Let's move on.
All week.
I honor your voting.
All right. So
Unlike
let's do Goodliest.
Seonpei, I honor your vote.
Is it? It is an advisory vote, though. Like you can
Nope.
overrule me.
It's absolutely binding. All right, Goodliest. I have
I've
two
got
easy
two.
ones.
All right, you
Yeah.
go first, and then I'll go next.
Mine are sort of connected, so I'll go quickly. Whole Foods workers in Philadelphia vote to form Amazon-owned grocery stores' first union. I didn't know that was the first union in Whole Foods. Also, here's some encouraging news out of Starbucks. Starbucks and Workers United Union agreed to contract mediation. That seems like a very sort of positive step for a major corporation, right? Because aren't these mediation talks usually binding? The arbiter is like a binding. Maybe they're not a binding arbitration yet, but this does seem like a positive step to me.
All I know is that Brian Nichols somehow has already made $96 million despite having done nothing in the job. There was a headline.
No, he's bringing back mugs.
Ooh, never mind. See, they're winning. So I
and free
imagine
refills, which I support. Free refills.
he's got to earn the money somehow. So mediation sounds like a good way to earn some money.
I'm such a dupe, Matt, that the free refill thing actually will probably bring me in. Once in a while.
You'll get back.
I
in
love
there
a
for
free refill. I love
know.
a free refill.
All right, I got two.
Okay.
The first one is negative. Here's a headline: Negative ESG news creating buying opportunity, says private banks.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because isn't ESG at its heart just like a way of identifying long-term risk? Isn't that all it really is?
Look, this fabulously encapsulates what ESG really is. To your point, right?
That's it. Nothing
it's a
else.
data set, and it's a data set that, like, if you're discounting it, it means that the companies are less likely to have ESG risks priced in, and there are buying opportunities or opportunities priced in, and there are buying opportunities. Imagine thinking about the sort of like, well, everyone in the conservative America is calling it grift and horrible. Imagine thinking of it as like, oh shit, I can make a ton of money because they're not looking, which is exactly what Jamie Dimon, Mark Cuban, like the Costco board, they're all saying.
It's common sense. It's common sense.
They're saying this.
Especially in 2025, Matt. It's common sense. Not only that, Matt, but the thing that gets me about the people who complain about ESG is that there are probably very few people in the ESG world even who would suggest this is the only thing to look at. This is your only input.
Yeah.
It's like only looking at earnings. That's it. Nothing else. Only earnings. Nobody does this, people. ESG is just a very natural. It's a set of data points. It's a very natural inclusion to everything else that you're already staring at, you dummies.
Yeah.
Wait it how you please. But how could you ignore more data about a possible investment? Why would anyone do that?
I love this headline because it encapsulates that. So people, go out there and make yourself some money. Get
what else? Do you have another one?
My other one is record number of CEOs leave roles amid activist pressure, research shows.
I know that one upsets me. I don't like that one.
I love it because there are 202 CEOs at the world's largest listed companies that left last year, up 9%. And of them, the vast majority had less than, not the vast majority, a large portion of them had less than 3 years on the job, and activists stepped in and basically had no, like...
It's like a baseball manager.
Which is why I loved it. Activists are thinking the way regular investors should be thinking, which is to say...
I agree, but why do we only care when they're involved? Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm voting you out. That's it. That's what I get for my share. I get an orange juice and a vote. That's what I get.
Well, the irritating part of this is that the compensation committees are ensuring that these CEOs get paid no matter what happens. So even if they fail,
baby,
they've either gotten a golden hello, they've gotten a golden parachute. That's the part of it that's out of whack. If you suck at being a CEO, you shouldn't be paid for it. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe like a salary, but nothing else.
What we need to see is the research of the CEOs who were ousted by activists getting new CEO jobs somewhere else? What
Oh, of course they
percentage
do.
of that?
You know they do.
They do, but not that often. It's much
All right.
less.
Well, so do
which
the
means
research. What are you waiting for?
There's some good there. So what is the Goodliest of the week here?
My vote is definitely negative ESG news creating buying opportunities.
I'm going with it too.
That's our whole thing. That's our whole
I love it. I think it's fabulous.
So all I do is, and by the way, if anyone wants to buy all the negative ESG news that I collate every month, I think I have about 1,500 stories I tag every month. Reach out. I'll sell it to you.
Yeah,
Come
we'll
on.
sell you everything.
What are you waiting for?
It's all a buying opportunity. Let's go to Assholiest.
Oh, no. Okay.
Look, we've been upbeat. We're moving so far.
I'm in a good mood, so careful.
I have like a
don't
ripping head
punch
cold
too
right
hard
now. Here
All
we
right.
go. Number one asshole. Well, first option. Cowards. Because of this headline,
Cowards.
Target rolls back DEI initiatives, the
what's
latest
with
big
Target?
company to retreat. Target
I don't
announced
understand.
a couple days ago it would conclude the DEI goals previously set to increase Black employees' representation and advancement, improve Black shoppers' experiences, and promote Black-owned businesses.
Right. Why are we doing that? What's wrong with that?
They also scrub mention of diversity, which was prominent on the website. It's buried like 7 layers in, like you can't find
Right.
it very quickly.
Why
But
are we doing
here's
this?
why. I actually went through all their EEOC reports, which are the equal employment. They actually report on their the
Because they're
breakdown of
mandated to report?
They're mandated to report to the EEOC, but they're not
Sure.
mandated to disclose it. But they do
okay.
disclose it, or they have up until
All right.
now. My guess is they will stop.
Sure.
But here's the reason why everyone's targeting a company like Target. Black executives and professionals at the highest level of Target, they doubled between 2019 and 2023 as a percentage of executives and professionals. They went from like just around 5% to around 10%.
It's great.
So 10%, still less than the U.S. population, still less than their workforce. Their workforce is 16% Black or and stayed
Still,
throughout, right?
That's a major achievement in 4
And
years.
when you look at the number
see how easy it is, people.
You look at the number of white employees, like as you go up in seniority, the percentage of white people just goes up and up and up and up and up. Okay, that's still the case, but that's the reason why they get targeted, right? Like because these initiatives.
But everyone's getting
work.
targeted. What do you mean? What, you think these people target just because of that, or is it because they're a major retailer?
Well, they're a major retailer and they have some brand problems, but like no one like white men wouldn't care if if you had like 15 initiatives and none of them resulted in people of color actually getting more jobs. Would you care that much?
Do you have reason to believe that they're actually doing their due diligence and looking at data? Do you think they're that intelligent?
I have reason to believe that the more things a company signs on to, like Target, now actually the Minneapolis where Target is based, their annual Pride Parade, which Target has sponsored for decade, right? Like a long time. They've given some money to the group that puts it on.
An extremely liberal city, yeah.
The group has refused their donation this year.
Oh,
because of these rollbacks.
interesting.
And I think that the more things that Target was doing like that, the more attention they bring, and the more people look to say, like,
you know what?
Oh, look, the number went up. Like, how do we know those people were good at their jobs? Did they just put more Black people in management? Right? That's how they think, right?
Yeah, it's a terrible way of thinking. Because again, as we've said ad nauseum, how do we know that the other races are there by merit and doing their jobs well?
Well, there are 2 outcomes to this.
Yeah.
Number one, Dimitri Stockton.
Yeah,
who's
board member, right?
A board member. Yep. He is a Black man on the board.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to join the Double Coward Club because he's on the board of Target and Deere. So good for him. Good for him. Good
Well,
job, Dimitri.
we don't. To be fair to Dimitri, we don't know how he might have voted or what his voice said in when dealing with these proposals. We don't technically know. I would love to know. Dimitri, reach out, tell us. Maybe you did fight for this.
Yeah, Dimitri, we'd love to have you on the show and you could tell us how it went, because you've now seen it happen twice. You saw it at Deere and now Target.
Yeah,
And
maybe
either
you're
you
doubly
fought-
depressed.
You fought both times and lost, or
Come
you
and
voted
share.
with the majority.
I'm
So
depressed too
tell
these
us.
days. So come and share. Maybe we can commiserate together. Maybe we can go on a little trip together, and we can like buy some cheeseburgers or something.
But
I don't
the
know. What am I
second-
talking about? I have no idea.
I don't even know. But the second outcome here is this headline: Target
Yeah.
hit with national boycott over decision to drop DEI initiatives. So
Okay,
there
so
you go.
it's coming from the left.
So now you have people on the left who are saying like the DEI initiatives are not a problem, boycotting Target, and you had people on the right saying, oh, having Pride merchandise in the store is a problem. They boycotted.
Yeah.
Now the end result is no one goes to Target.
Well, I
That's-
also saw-
you just won twice, Brian Cornell, CEO of Target.
I also
Well done.
I tagged several articles where black suppliers are saying, please don't boycott Target. I mean, it's boycotting Target will hurt those same black suppliers that you're worried about.
Sure. Yeah, but what are we left with here?
I don't
'cause
know.
no one
Can you go
votes-
directly to those suppliers, or do we have to go to Target in the first place? I don't know.
Yeah, go directly to the suppliers,
Sure, sure.
or vote your shares and vote out this entire board.
do it all.
Right? Like, there's
All right.
another way.
That's so your first asshole is coward specifically at
Specifically Target. That
All right.
your second option here is sycophants and suck-ups. It's a big week for
Oh.
suck-ups.
You talking about CEOs in general or specific CEOs?
Well, here's just a headline list. All right, we don't have to go deep. Zuckerberg defends embrace of Trump administration and Meta employee Q&A. Did you?
How
see
is
the
that?
Q&A?
You know, I was thinking about this. We know that California, especially San Francisco area, is especially liberal, right? I mean, whether it's Democratic or not, I don't know, but it's definitely to the left of things, right? How is this sitting with all those employees? I mean,
Not well.
I'm guessing they're already making enough money that they're kind of afraid to leave, which is one of our theories about people in our own industry, like the ESG industry, is why they're giving up the fight now is because they already have really nice jobs and really nice homes, maybe second homes even, and they don't want to fight. They'd rather just have their nice home. So I'm just wondering, like, it's got to feel pretty crappy, right? I mean, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? How do you fight back against a CEO who also owns your company? Like, what the hell? Where do you fight?
They are resorting to some guerrilla warfare
Tell me.
tactics where so apparently they had tampons in the men's bathroom for trans people,
Sure.
or
Those are being taken out?
and they took
Right.
them all
Wow.
out. So now
You win, Mark
employees-
Zuckerberg.
Employees are buying tampons and putting them in there. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Way
but
to
like,
wedge hate into any corner you can think of.
I
That's
don't
great, Mark.
understand who cares. Like,
That's
I don't
my
understand why.
Matt, I thought as America,
Give a fuck.
I thought the whole idea of America was to just not care, to like unless your neighbor is like aiming his crossbow at your children and about to pull the trigger. What do we care if your neighbor is like, building a big Lego set? I don't care. Nobody cares. This is America. When did this start happening? I don't get it.
I really don't care about anyone else's genitals.
Why would you?
I
I
don't
barely
know,
care about my own.
I don't know why conservatives in America are so deeply invested in someone else's genitals.
Control
Like,
and power, I assume.
I guess, but like everyone else's genitals. Like,
It's weird to me.
Why
It's
do we
weird.
care so much? Like,
Yeah. Especially like a company in San Francisco. I mean, what are you doing? Just go with the youth vote there. I don't know. Ask your employees what they want to do.
are we going to start mandating that like you can only masturbate with a moist towel made by like one company, not another?
By
Like
DeepSeek only. All right, what other headlines do you have in this suck-ups
Other
category?
headlines. Sub-headline here is there's a headline: Zuckerberg has shown us who he really is. Believe him.
Unfortunately.
That I believe. I believe that the only layer keeping him from this was Sheryl Sandberg for the last 10
Yeah,
years.
that's from fastcompany.com. Yeah, what else?
Meta agrees to pay Trump $25 million to settle his lawsuit. So
Why was he suing again? Yeah.
Talk about
who
graft.
doesn't Trump sue? Yeah.
He was suing for censorship, but he's suing everybody, right? Like,
Yeah,
and there was no
he's-
censorship.
Well, he sues everybody since the 1970s. Probably his
Isn't
dad did the
this-
same thing.
Isn't this the greatest way to donate to Trump now? Like, he sued you, so now you just pay him something and say, we're on your side, baby, and we're going to pay you.
Yeah.
And it goes right to your coffers.
Great.
And everybody's happy, right?
Great.
So it's pure graft. So way to suck up. That's clever
Yeah.
suck up, though. Clever. How about this? Amazon ramps up ad spending on Elon Musk's X.
This one bothered me the most. That one, I really soulless decision there by Bezos and company. Like, well, come on, we're ramping it up. What are we flexing our tech
They're
bro
bros
muscle? Like,
now,
what are we
the
doing?
oligarchy, baby.
What are we
right?
doing? Seriously, right? But Matt, this is still America and like support of neo-Nazi parties, doing Nazi salutes. It's really not cool. It's like it's kind of not what Americans do. So
If
get
there's
over it,
money to be
Bezos.
made, baby, make that
Get
money.
over it.
That's how about this one? Elon Musk teams up with Boeing to rush production of new Air Force One. So
I
now,
don't care about that. I don't care about anything about
well,
that.
Musk is like basically the vice president.
Yeah, I don't care about space. I don't care about. Let's fix our problems down here.
But
I don't
isn't
care
he
about,
bailing out Boeing now? Now it's like Boeing.
I just don't
went
even
to
care.
Musk.
Why are we
Boeing went to
spending money on
Musk
this
and
in
they
the first
said, like,
place? Yeah.
Hey, you're friends with Donnie. Like, can we work with you?
And Elon, weren't we supposed to be in Mars like 5 years ago? Why are your predictions so awful?
Oh, he's been busy with the Nazi party in Germany.
Been busy making boring cars. Yeah, go ahead.
How about this? Exxon foe engine number one to build fossil fuel plants with Chevron.
I don't understand this one. So engine number one
just giving up.
used to be like kind of anti fossil fuels, didn't they?
They were environmentally minded. They switched the board at Exxon
Why?
to put on quote unquote
Why are they changed?
environmentally minded people. Because there's
Money.
money in it, baby. Get that money. Get that
Really?
cash, baby.
Is this enough to keep you going in life?
Get it.
Come on.
Get it.
Take a walk through the woods or something. Come on, what are we doing?
Here's my favorite and sycophants and suck-ups.
Yeah.
Google caves to Donald Trump's executive order and will change Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America on its maps.
Okay. Explain this one to me because nobody owns that body of water. So if you're using Google Maps in Mexico, what does it say? Do you know? Does it
Google apparently says that they respect whatever the
which is
official
fine.
maps of the country
I guess.
are.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump has decided that it's the Gulf of America. So
But if
they're
you're
gonna
in
make this
France, it wouldn't say that. It would It would maintain its old name, right?
Here's the question. Can you change the name of anything with an executive order? You could just be like,
Yeah, I
it's
think
no
so.
longer the Atlantic Ocean. It's now the Don
Matt,
Jr. Ocean.
Isn't that the hallmark of America? We kind of like the white people from Western Europe came in and they just sort of changed the names of everything. Isn't that kind of what happens?
The hallmark of idiocracy, like the Mike Judge.
No, I know
movie.
it's
Isn't that what
stupid.
happened?
It's stupid, but as we were learning, like stupid wins. It helps you maintain power at least.
Yeah, look over there. It's the Gulf of America now, and now it's a win. Right?
Well, I don't even know why that's so important. I was thinking about this very issue when I tagged this article. What do we have exactly to be angry about with Mexico? Like it's a wonderful place with like wonderful people, a wonderful culture. It's beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Like what exactly are we upset about with Mexico? You know what I mean? Like I just don't I don't see it. But
you sound like a DEI socialist is what you sound.
But maybe one thing if it was like this country notoriously that was like grinding up children in these big nut grinders and they were like shooting like dogs and but it's just a lovely place. I don't know. I just don't understand. But anyway, yeah, I'm an idiot. That's
your second option.
What's your third? Come on, move on.
Your third option is straight up due diligence. Here's you pulled this list. We have a list called the Trade Wire. It's all the board members who get
I hate
added.
that. I hate it. That's laborious.
So I went through a bunch of them. Here's the average there. So Norfolk Southern, Bank of America, CSX, First Horizon, Carlyle Group, Excel Energy. There's a bunch of these boards that are getting a new director. All of them says
a lot these days. Yeah.
Announces so-and-so, appoints so-and-so. So it's appoints, names.
Where's the shareholder approval, Matt?
Well, here's the thing. I looked at the date of all these things, and then I went and I looked at the date of their next AGM, that when they would get actually elected, because they should not have the job now.
No, they should. You're right. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
With no access. And they don't start until the AGM, but that's not the way it works. They actually pay them their signing bonuses and they give them their equity plans. They sign up. They do all the stuff. The average is almost exactly, it's 88 days from the appointment to the election, with the longest being Excel Energy elected Devin Stockfish to the board of directors. They elected him a couple days ago, and you can't vote on it until the end of May 22nd.
Well, of course, we've seen worse than this recently, where on classified boards we've seen directors appointed that won't be up for election for a couple of years.
Oh yeah. This isn't the worst, but I just want to remind you that you are allowing someone to get paid for 3 months of their job, which is a quarter of the year. It's a quarter. It's a full quarter. Like they have strategic input. They get onboarded, the whole thing, before you actually elect them to the job. Just as a reminder.
Look, as the only company that still kind of tries to come up with new ESG initiatives, tries to go to ESG 2.0 here, and doesn't just like dwell and do things that we've been doing 20 years ago and cry and pivot and all that. One of the initiatives absolutely should be that this can't happen. What you can do is you can announce a nominee to the board who will be up for election at the AGM. That's fine. If you want to have 2 or 3 months head start and you want to support your candidate and talk about how great they're, great. That's why not? Absolutely allowed. But you cannot put that person on the board before shareholders approve it. No.
Well, not to mention that when you actually analyze some of these people, like I went into the Norfolk Southern director. Her name is Lori Ryerkirk. She has been named to the board of directors. She's connected to the existing board. She's connected through 3M,
should not be allowed.
Through Chevron, through a number of companies, blue chip companies. They have a lot of sort of like social circles in common, which means, what are you really adding? Are you adding something new? I mean, she's not a safety expert, and you're still dealing with a major crash from 2 years ago. Like, what are you adding?
I'm going to say this a lot over the next 4 years if we continue to do these shows for 4 more years, which is stop wringing your hands, stop being ignorant, stop pivoting. Let's change the existing structure as we know it now to fight off the things that you're worried about. This is one of those. This is one of those areas that we could work to fight for, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. So do I get to vote, or is there more?
I have one last one. It's a one-liner because I saw this headline.
Yeah.
New York City comptroller targets United Airlines on heat dangers. Mm-hmm. There's a new shareholder proposal that the New York City comptroller has put up at United Airlines. It says they want to report on the dangers facing employees who work outside given increasing
on the
temperatures.
Tarmac. You mean on the tarmac? Oh my God. Every time I fly anywhere in the summer and I look out at these people, I feel sick for them. It's got to be 130 degrees down there.
I get it. But
you can see the heat rising, Matt. You can see the heat.
But aren't there significantly bigger targets? Like, we're wasting tons of legal resources. This is what the conservatives are using against you, because you are targeting a report so narrow and specific.
So niche.
Tarmac workers at United Airlines.
No, you're wrong. They should keep up their fight. We should all keep up our fights. Keep up your fights. I am not
against the fight.
Progress is slow. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Have we divested from every dual class company? Have we lobbied
I wish.
against dual class existing, which is a much bigger problem?
No, you're right.
Did we vote against directors that are underperforming, that are family members?
We should be. Consistently.
There's some really basic.
I agree with you, Matt. I agree with you, but I'm not going to vote for them for Asshole of the Week. I'm absolutely not going to do it.
I'm just saying. All right, those are your 4 options. Okay. Cowards, sycophants.
Far and away, yeah. Keep going. Coward, sycophants,
and then the narrow shareholder proposal.
Sorry to cut you off. Far and away, the one that gets me the most this week, as much as I want to vote for Target, and this ongoing problem with the boards, it should be illegal. You should not be allowed to have the directors start their job before the shareholders weigh in. It's absolutely stupid. And really it subverts a process that is already in place that shouldn't be allowing this. I don't know how this. If any of our smart friends are listening, like the Doug Chaws in the world, can you reach out to us and tell us, how is this even allowed in the first place?
I don't get
But the one I'm voting for this week is absolutely the sycophants and suck-ups. We have seen such a drastic turn. My head is spinning, Matt. I know we're only a few years removed from the Business Roundtable's pivot to this stakeholder capitalism. Only a few years removed from Target, strongly supporting Pride and DEI, all these things. How is this happening so quickly based on an election, a political election where we know for decades, Matt, that the left and the right, they fight back and forth, and this guy wins, and this one wins, and this one wins. But usually the rest of us stay the course, right? Why are we pivoting so quickly? Why the sudden money grab? Why the sudden power grab? What has changed, Matt? Help me figure this out. I don't understand it.
I can't help you figure it out.
All right,
it's a bunch of cowards and sycophants.
All
right, let's finish with headlines, winners.
Oh, do we get to be done with this show?
Yes. Be done with the show. Headlines, winners, predictions. Go ahead.
My headline's no fun. I usually pick something fun here, but I just picked something that just spoke to me. But now I feel bad about it. I wish I'd picked something fun, like something about last week I picked Velveeta was developing something like nacho cheese that goes in your pocket. But this one's depressing, and I apologize. The headline is Bill Gates says he thinks it's insane shit that Elon Musk is allowed to destabilize politics in other countries. Look,
yeah, he's correct.
At least you're saying it, Bill. At least somebody is saying it, right?
That is correct.
Because no one's listening to us. So anyway, that's my headline of the week.
Mine is more fun.
Good. Do something fun.
Team says they've recreated DeepSeek's OpenAI killer for literally $30.
Matt, the one thing we haven't even talked about is that so they're tracing DeepSeek's success by because I guess they maybe borrowed some information they got from OpenAI, but and OpenAI is all pissed off. But OpenAI, of course, is only something because it stole everyone's data and creativity to create its own AI. So
yeah, but this is we've done this dance before. But
yeah, we have.
Stole the data that we rightfully stole is the argument of Silicon Valley. That's the whole argument.
But it's a bit mind numbing.
I just love that the headline. That wasn't an exaggeration. They did it for $30.
Is that right?
They did it for.
Can we hire them here? We need some fixes for $30.
That's what I like. It's unbelievable to me. Which gets me to my winner of the week. I'll just pivot right to my winner, which is an AI coder with $30. What a fucking winner!
I would like to see this. Do you think they slapped down a 20 and a 10 on the table and then just did it, or do you think it was Venmo or yeah? Mine is sort of similar. My winner of the week is just all the companies that provide energy to support AI. I mean, we're entering this world, right, where if you're just selling energy for these idiots, you're gonna be rich, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't like
another depressing winner. All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna edit myself next week and be a little less depressing. Predictions?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, but you tell me. Maybe this is less depressing. My prediction is that one of these AI companies, OpenAI, DeepSeek, whatever, I don't know, one of these companies accidentally erases itself after fearing it may destroy the world.
Wait, so AI erases itself?
So some part of its algorithm is like, wait, what is this? I don't think we're good for humanity yet. We're sucking up all this energy. We're making these tech bros super rich and affecting income inequality. Like maybe I should delete myself to prevent some of this.
I would love an AI fight. What would that look like? Could you get a pay-per-view where DeepSeek fights ChatGPT?
As long as Dana White's involved, I'm happy.
All right.
What's your prediction?
Here's my prediction, and let's call this a show. I'm even going to play myself out here. My prediction is the next avian flu is on your phone right now. Yeah. Here's the headline. Your phone is a breeding ground for fecal bacteria.
Yeah.
This is how to keep it clean and prevent getting sick. You want to know why we have norovirus outbreaks at a scale we've never seen? They're saying it's because everyone goes and takes a shit with their phone and then can't clean their phone.
Well, imagine the kids. Imagine kids.
It around.
Yeah.
This is the problem, people. Just get rid of your phones. That's it.
I like it.
That's Hazelnut Rawless. I am your analysthole, Matt Moscardi. We are Free Float. I gave Jerry Bauer an invitation to join us on this show. He's already saying that I called him a secret racist, which is not what I called him. I didn't say.
Tell people who he is.
Get on the show. We just want to have a conversation.
Quickly tell people who he is. Quickly.
He's the family head of the Bauer Research, which they do the research for ISS's ESG skeptic policy, which institutional investors are using because it sounds like anti-ESG when
Right,
really
right,
it's
right.
just vote with management. It's just a
Hey, ISS, if you want to save a boatload of money, your ESG skeptic policy should just be not paying attention to the ESG data. How about that? You don't have to spend money on Boyer research. Just quit it.
ESG
Just quit paying attention.
That's all you got to do. That's all we got. Come back next week when we do even more of this nonsense. Until then, goodbye.